What's going on, guys? Spending a pretty late night in the shop tonight doing some work on a couple of projects. Getting ready to call it a day, so figured I'd fire up the camera and give a little shop update on some things I'm working on here. Those of you who follow me on Instagram probably already know what these projects are. Excuse me. But, I've only really shared a couple of photos, a few quick clips. Figured I'd go into maybe a little more detail on this video for those of you who might be interested. Those of you who do not follow me on Instagram, I would encourage you to click that follow button. Same as my YouTube channel, AR Custom Knives. You can find me on there pretty easy. And I try to post an occasional picture or video on there of something I'm working on out here. And up until recently, I was doing a work in progress on some neck knives. I may show those here in a moment. But I kind of took a little bit of a break or a hiatus on those to work on a new tool build. And this is something I kind of have thought about getting in the past, but always kind of decided against it. Didn't think it'd be all that useful to me. And that's a disc grinder. And there's a lot of really nice systems out there. Probably the best and most recommended would be the Rod Nielsen interchangeable disc system. And I think his website is nielsengrinderdesign.com or Nielsen Design Grinder. If you look up Rod Nielsen disc grinder, you'll find it. It definitely seems to be hailed as the best and most efficient system to use. So as much as I would love to buy that system and just get right to using it, unfortunately it is a little bit pricey for the funds I have available at the moment. So kind of decided to take some inspiration from his design and not necessarily copy it exactly, but see if I could build my own version of that. And I'm definitely not trying to step on any toes there. This is something just for my own personal use, and I'm not going to make anything or any parts or pieces for anybody else. And I'll probably never even sell the thing for that matter, since it's based pretty moderately on his design. Again, I don't have one to take measurements off of. It's not a direct copy or clone. I'm just kind of doing my own thing with it. But the similarities, there's no denying. So just want to get that out of the way. If you guys want the best you can buy, definitely go to his site and support him, as I don't think there's anything better out there. There are some other really nice disc grinders, don't get me wrong. KMG, I think Hardcore makes one. There's a couple different guys that make the discs and things like that, or maybe it's not Hardcore, but if you look, you find them. They're all over the place, and there's some that are made really nice and are kind of the standard. I definitely go that way, but like I said, money's a little tight. And besides that, I kind of like to challenge myself and use these tools I've been slowly acquiring, kind of get my money out of them and learn a little bit in the process. So I'll kind of stop babbling, maybe let you guys look at something now other than my dirty chip-filled face. I'm sure I got all kinds of aluminum swarf in my beard, but anyway, this is what I've been working on, and this started out as a solid 2-inch round, 2-inch thick by I think it was 8-inch diameter round, aluminum billet. That's a 6061. I've spent the last few days slowly but surely nibbling away at this. You can see the pile of swarf on the ground. That's a pretty good pile of it. Some of it's in the lathe, behind the lathe, across the shop. Probably a little in the garbage can there. It's just amazing, just this little corner of material, relatively speaking, just how much chips and swarf that makes. And being that this lathe is a little on the underpowered side, it just took forever. But, I got there eventually, and, I'm happy I was patient and took my time. Now, I did get this motor really hot a couple of times, up to about 220 degrees or more. and it started smoking a little bit, so I did have to shut the machine down, you know, take the night off once or twice. But again, we got there, and tonight I put this on the milling table, and I got the magnets installed temporarily. And you can see I got some nice holes or pockets milled out there. Used the bolt hole function on my DRO, which worked beautifully, by the way. And if you guys have a mill but not a DRO, I definitely recommend, you know, making that investment. I ran this mill for a long time without a DRO, and you know, it did what I needed it to. There's certainly other ways to lay out things like bolt hole patterns without a DRO. You know, there's charts and graphs and equations. You can even print out an overlay in CAD and you know, pre-punch your holes and you know, drill them out and things like that pretty easily. But when it comes to accuracy and efficiency, there's nothing better than a DRO, and it just made a world of difference in laying these out. It was painless, effortless, and worked really, really well. So that's that. The only thing I really have left to do for this hub, I think, is just drill out and tap for some set screws to hold it on the motor shaft. I may broach a keyway in it. I really haven't decided yet. You know, I may be underestimating the forces and the torque applied to this when you're really bearing down on a piece of sandpaper. But I think a couple, you know, 2-3 set screws should be enough in this aluminum. You know, maybe some 1-inch long set screws even, just to have some threads to hold into that I can really crank down on. A little bit of Loctite, center one over a keyway, it should be fine. The other thing I'll have to worry about is if the magnets are strong enough for the rotational torque, you know, when I'm bearing on this, that it's not going to slip. But, you know, there's some workarounds for that too. I could add some magnets, use some stronger magnets. You know, I got plenty of room for more holes here if I need to. There's some options there, so we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. The next step would be really to glue this back on the shaft in place, or, you know, get the set screws moving. And then I can true this disc up, you know, maybe face it. It's actually pretty flat and smooth as it is right now. I may just kind of leave it as is, clean it up with some sandpaper, and then you know, start using the thing. But next thing will really be to build a stand. I got some more materials coming. I got some in the corner over there. So to build a stand, get it all mounted, I want it to be able to rotate, you know, 90 degrees face up or face, you know, towards me. And then I may tie it into my VFD there, or I may go ahead and just save up for 1-horse KB VFD. I've also got that one in there that would work. So, you know, a couple options there. I'm really in no big hurry. You know, I do have some knives to sell. Maybe I'll put some funds, or I will have some knives to sell. Maybe I'll put some funds once these, you know, go out to a new VFD. But got about, what is it, 8 or 9 of these neckers I'm working on. I may wait for the, whoops, knock that off. May wait for the disc grinder, see if I can start using that. I'm not sure. Kind of need to get those done, so you know, I may get right back to working on those while I'm waiting for other parts and pieces to come in. But here's a motor I'm going to use. I got a really good deal on this. Local Craigslist. Found a guy about a block away from where I work, just down the road, so I couldn't hardly pass this up. 40 bucks. Shaft's a little bigger than normal. It's 7/8 versus 5/8, and it's not a C-frame or a C-face motor like most guys use. So I'm going to kind of do the tool rest a little bit differently. And I've got some ideas for that, but I think it'll work just fine, and you know, really come out nice. So you know, hopefully all in, this will be a little bit cheaper than buying a turnkey system. Not that I don't recommend, if you can, to do that. Again, Rod Nielsen has a really good design. KMG, they make a really nice one. A couple of other guys, but it's just not really in the cards right now to drop all that kind of money all at once for something like that. Even something that I'll probably end up using quite a bit. So that's just some quick thoughts on that. Some ideas of where I'm going with it. I know I'm going to be cleaning this mess up for a long time, but you know, so far so good. We're coming along, and I just need a few more things and a few more steps to get this ready to fire up. So when that happens, I'm sure I'll post a few more updates, and we'll see how she runs. So appreciate the views, guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or insight, by all means, leave it below. Send me a message. And we'll see you on the next one.